Have you ever trusted someone so deeply, only to find out they were planning your downfall while you couldn't even move? This is what happened to me. And this is my story. My name is Michael, and I'm 32 years old. 6 months ago, my entire world changed in an instant. It was a Tuesday evening, raining heavily, when the unthinkable happened, a head-on collision with an 18-wheeler truck. The impact was devastating. The doctors painted a grim picture for anyone who might have been listening. Severe brain trauma, internal bleeding, multiple fractures. My chances of survival were slim to none. They placed me in a medically induced coma, hoping my body could heal itself while my mind remained trapped in darkness. But here's what nobody knew. I could hear everything. Not clearly at first, more like sounds filtering through deep water. Voices became my only connection to the outside world. Footsteps echoing down hospital corridors. The constant beeping of machines keeping me alive. The rustle of medical charts. The whispered conversations of nurses changing shifts. Sometimes, I felt gentle touches, a hand holding mine, fingers brushing across my forehead. These moments gave me hope that someone cared, that I wasn't completely alone in this fight for my life. The first voice I recognized with absolute clarity belonged to Sarah, my girlfriend of 3 years. The woman I thought I'd spend forever with. Her words would haunt me forever. I can't do this anymore, Michael. You're never going to wake up. As days turned into weeks, Sarah's visits became less frequent. Her voice, once filled with what I believed was genuine concern, began to change. Then came the day that shattered everything I thought I knew about the person I loved. She wasn't alone anymore. A man's voice accompanied hers, deeper, confident, almost mocking. Their conversations revealed a truth more painful than any physical injury I'd sustained. He was so trusting, Sarah laughed, a sound that once brought me joy but now felt like ice in my veins. Did you really think he'd be smart enough to protect himself? You mentioned he has no family, the stranger asked. None that matter. His parents passed away years ago, no siblings. Everything he owned is in my name now. The house, the car, his savings account. He signed it all over because he trusted me completely. Standing there beside my hospital bed, they discussed my possessions like vultures circling their prey. Every asset I'd worked years to build, every dollar I'd saved, every dream I'd invested in our future together, all of it had been transferred to her name because I believed in us. Because I thought love meant sharing everything. The cruelest part wasn't just the betrayal itself, but hearing them plan their future with my money while I lay there, helpless, fighting for every breath. After 7 grueling weeks trapped between life and consciousness, something miraculous happened. My brain began to heal, and I started emerging from the coma. The medical team was amazed by my recovery, calling it unprecedented. But Sarah had no idea I was waking up. I made a calculated decision that would prove to be the most important of my life. I pretended to remember nothing. No recollection of the accident, no memory of the weeks in the hospital, and certainly no awareness of the conversations I'd overheard. Sarah's relief was palpable, though not for the reasons she led everyone to believe. She thought she was in the clear, that her secret was safe. She could continue her charade of being the devoted, heartbroken girlfriend while planning her new life with my resources. Watching her perform this act of false devotion was almost unbearable. She brought flowers, spoke in gentle tones, held my hand with what appeared to be loving care. She told the medical staff how grateful she was for my recovery, how she'd never given up hope. But I knew the truth. I knew exactly who she really was beneath the mask she wore so convincingly. The hardest part was controlling my emotions, maintaining the facade of confusion and gratitude while my heart burned with the knowledge of her deception. While Sarah believed she was masterfully managing the situation, I was quietly working behind the scenes. During my recovery, I contacted a lawyer through a trusted friend who visited me in the hospital. The legal consultation revealed the full extent of what I'd lost, but also showed me a path forward. Working carefully and discreetly, my attorney began the process of reclaiming my assets. We discovered that some of the transfers could be challenged due to my medical condition at the time they were made. Bank records showed suspicious activity. Documentation revealed a pattern of manipulation. I also made another decision. I installed security cameras throughout what used to be our shared apartment, where Sarah expected we'd resume our life together once I was discharged. 4 weeks, I gathered evidence. The cameras captured everything: her phone calls with her lover, her friends visiting and mocking my condition, her planning sessions for how to handle my recovery while maintaining access to my resources. Then came the evening I'd been planning for months. I invited Sarah to a romantic dinner at home. Candles, wine, her favorite meal, everything perfect for what she thought would be a celebration of our reunion. As we sat down to eat, I calmly reached for the remote control and turned on the television. The screen filled with footage I'd recorded: Sarah and her lover in our living room, laughing about how easy it had been to manipulate the poor guy in the hospital bed. Her face went white as she watched herself on screen, calling me names I won't repeat, discussing in detail how she'd planned to use my recovery as an opportunity to gain even more control over my remaining assets. The wine glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the floor like the illusion of our relationship had shattered months ago in that hospital room. She tried to explain, to make excuses, to claim it wasn't what it looked like. But there's no explaining away your own recorded words, your own voice detailing your own deceptions. That was the last conversation we ever had. She left that night and never returned. Today, I live alone in a new apartment, but I've never felt more free. The accident that nearly took my life gave me something unexpected: the gift of seeing people's true nature when they think you can't see them. My recovery was complete, both physically and emotionally. The legal battles were resolved in my favor. Justice, it turns out, has a way of prevailing when the truth finally comes to light. Sometimes the most devastating experiences become the most valuable lessons. I learned that love isn't about what someone says when you're awake and listening. It's about what they do when they think you can't hear them. If you ever find yourself questioning someone's intentions, remember this story. Sometimes the most important conversations happen in whispers, and the most revealing moments occur when people believe no one is watching. Truth has a way of surfacing, even from the deepest darkness.